yesterday we have gone over the demo, right? We understood what this course offers. We understood the syllabus of this course, and we answered a lot of questions, right, from you. I'm going to just recap a bit, and then we're going to dive deep into the day one agenda, which is we'll start with our cloud. So friends, as we discussed yesterday, this is the course. We are starting the course today. Today's day one. Today was demo. If you are joining today for the first time, I request everybody to go and watch the demo sessions. You'll understand more about the course. But if you're joining it for the first time, I'm going to recap things, friends. So this course is suits for the performance engineers who would like to be a cloud got stuck, right? Being just performance testing tool, doing just the load testing, right? And not doing the engineering activities. So this course is going to help you become a cloud performance engineer, because the course is structured in such a way that we talk about cloud, we talk about microservices, Docker, Kubernetes, we talk about DevOps and other things. We talk about observability, right? We talk about SRE concepts. We talk about automation using Terraform, Ansible. It's going to help you, all right, considering all the aspects that's going on in the today's market situation as per the scenario, right? So how are we going to flow? How are we going to take up the topics here? So let me just give you a brief, right? Just so that you and me on the same page. So friends, we will start with the cloud. Okay, that's how we start with. Just okay. So we will start with cloud. Okay, the first topic, the first out of all the modules that we have in the course, the first thing that we start with the cloud. It is the basis of the infrastructure where we create. Why do we use cloud? We use cloud because of the infrastructure. We need infrastructure. We need servers. We need storage and other things. We need databases, managed databases, load balancers. We need a lot of cloud has developed a lot of things. They have automated a lot of stuff, and we would like to leverage cloud to deploy my application, like how any company does that, right? All the application that you see, Swiggy, Ola, Uber, all the application that we work is in the cloud, right? The storage, like all the streaming platform, Hotstar, Netflix, they use cloud for the storage. They don't have their own on-prem. We will understand the difference today, what is on-prem and cloud, but that's the first topic is what we go over. We start with. This goes over approximately, hence 3 weeks. We'll talk about this. Continuously, we'll start and we will take you to the level 0. We start every topic from scratch and we do hands-on. Everybody would be instructed to create a cloud account in AWS. We'll take up AWS, not Azure and GCP. But if you learn one, you can easily learn others. If you have a question that we would like to learn Azure and GCP as well, you can do that. First, focus on one cloud provider, and then you can easily do that. So everybody would be instructed to create a cloud account, and we'll do hands-on here. Hands-on. So this is our, what to say, the place where we create servers, we create storage, we deploy application, right? All sorts of things we do in the cloud. We have a lot of services to offer. Lot of services, as you can see here, we have storage services, lot of options in storage, right? We have in the databases, we have a lot of options in databases, why we use a particular database. We'll talk about databases as well. We have containers concept. We'll talk about EKS in particular here. We have networking. We'll talk about VPC here. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Okay, a lot of stuff. We talk about security, right? We talk about IAM. We'll talk about guard duty. We'll talk about NACL security group. We'll talk about these things. So we're going to talk a lot about cloud, and that's the first topic we take, right? And everything is hands-on. I'll be doing things. If you have two monitor, one laptop and an extended monitor, you can practice along with me. If not, after the session, you'll be given recording and you're supposed to practice this. Every session will be linked, so I don't encourage to miss session. Even if for some situation, if you have missed, go over the recording before you attend the next session. That's how we recommend. Now, when this is the live sessions. We'll go over live. So when you're going over this parallelly, you'll be given Linux sessions, which is going to be a self-paced Linux self-scripting sessions. Content is not huge content. I have put together a very simplified manner which will help you if you're a beginner or intermediate. It's going to help you to reach to a certain level where you can be comfortable with Linux, right? So this is going to be a self-paced. So you're supposed to, and it's going to be my recording, okay, not another recording. So you're supposed to go over this when we are going over cloud. It's going to be just 3.5 hours, I would say. Very simplified in a very simple manner, right? Everything is a hands-on. I'll be creating EC2 instance server and I'll be demonstrating all the commands. So you'll be given this parallelly. Once we complete the cloud, we will start with microservices. See, they are all fundamental things. Before we dive into the SRE concepts and talk more about from SRE high availability perspective, we need to have a basic understanding of these things. That's why these things are important. We'll talk about microservices, talk about Docker, how do we create containers, what is containerization, how do we create containers, deploy microservices on the containers. We'll talk about Kubernetes. So Docker is the container engine and Kubernetes is the container orchestration engine. How do we do auto scaling, auto healing, auto scheduling, auto clustering? So all the options that Kubernetes offers. Ingress, how do we use ingress, right? So very important concepts. We'll talk about that. Once we have covered this, we'll start with Jenkins, DevOps part. DevOps using Jenkins is what we're going to demonstrate. Jenkins is the CI tool. We'll demonstrate how do you do continuous performance testing. How do you schedule a CI/CD pipeline? We'll talk about CI/CD pipeline here. We'll talk about continuous performance testing. We'll get comfortable with why we talking about DevOps. We'll understand this, right? We'll talk about Jenkins file, right? A lot of things here. We're going to talk about DevOps. How do we create pipeline? How do you trigger automated emails? Here you're going to find me create a pipeline where I use Jmeter script and create a pipeline, right? Once we have covered this, we'll start with database. Okay, so cloud database. It's not just database, cloud database. Database services. I was showing you some time back. We'll understand this. What is the offering of cloud database? What it offers, how different it is from on-prem database, what it should do, because it's a managed database that we have. Everything is automated. What we should know, right? We have got a lot of databases. We have relational database, NoSQL databases. We'll talk about. We have in-memory database. We have Mongo database, right? So we'll understand why we use a particular database as a solution architect. In what scenario you're going to select a database, right? We're going to talk about use cases of databases. How do you achieve high availability in a database? How do you increase performance if you see performance bottleneck, right? How do you increase the performance using read replicas? We'll talk about that. After that, friends, we'll start with our SRE concepts, because these are all the things that we have learned. It will help you understand the next topics. We'll talk about SRE concepts. What is fault tolerance? What is reliability mean? What is high availability? How do you achieve high availability? What is disaster recovery? What you should think in disaster recovery? We'll talk about chaos testing. How do you plan chaos testing? different queues, because we'll talk about a lot of services in cloud. So all the discussions that we're going to have is related to the performance, related to the cloud services, security part. Every discussion is right. Every discussion, whatever we discussed, is going to be in line with these things: security, performance, high availability, HA output, cost. Every discussion that we do is revolving around these four concepts, which are these are the pillars of any reliable, secure, highly performing application. We'll talk about SRE concepts, a lot of things. What is SLOs, SLAs, the difference, the error concepts. How do you do incident management? What is incident? What is change management? Right? A lot of things, right? You have all the things in the content of this. I'm not going to just walk you over again. We have done that yesterday. If you don't have the link handy, I'm going to give you the link handy. Here is the link, right? So we'll talk about SRE concepts. Then we'll talk about, friends, observability. We take up two tools here. In observability, we'll talk about two tools. We'll talk about Prometheus and Grafana. We'll talk about Elk, Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. Right? We'll talk about this. How do we set up? How do we create dashboards? Now for the creating dashboards, a lot of things, you need to have the database knowledge, right? Because see, Grafana, Kibana is the visualization tool. It reads the data from database. So you need to have database knowledge, right? Prerequisite to create some dashboard. But I'm going to show you the standard dashboard. How do we create one? We talk about automation using Terraform, which is infrastructure as code using Ansible. And I'm going to share Python scripts, most used Python scripts, which is going to help you automate a lot of stuff. I'm going to give you a link, very useful link, where you can go over and understand the Python programming. A lot of examples, Python programs example. So that's how we plan this course, friends. This is going to be my section. Now, when we are talking about SRE concepts, when started the SRE concepts, I'll be giving you an access. Let me put that 7 here. A Java performance engineering, which is going to be self-paced. All our live sessions, which I've just listed here, all our live sessions here, all our live sessions. Now, the Java performance engineering is going to be self-paced. In this part, we will talk about how the JVM architecture, how it looks, how JVM manages the memory, right? How do you analyze GC log? What is the importance of GC log? The heap dump? How do you analyze using MAT? How do you analyze thread dump, right? We will talk about all those things here. And this is going to be the self-paced, friends. No, this is not the live session, sorry, self-paced. Apart from this, so these two are only the self-paced, Linux and Java. Apart from that, everything is going to be live sessions. Now, along with that, you will be given a kind of a programming if you want to go and understand more about the programs, how it works. So we are also giving a Java programming for cloud performance engineers. If you don't want to become an SRE engineer, if you want to be, you are already a performance engineer, you want to be into cloud. So we're going to give you Java programming. If you would like to explore and looking forward to become an SRE engineer, we also have the Python programming for you, the full-fledged Python programming course, which is going to be a self-paced. It's not my recordings. Okay, it's not going to be my recording. Somebody at ISA, very good. Somebody very good at ISA, self-paced, right? So this course is designed in such a way that we cover a lot of stuff, right? So this course we cover 40 hours of live sessions. Okay, 40 hours. We meet 4.5 hours, 4 hours to 4.5 hours a week. We meet in a week. You can just calculate. We need 10 weeks, so we need approximately 3 months. This course goes for 3 months live sessions, right? And along with that, you get all the sessions live are going to be recorded. It's going to be a lifetime access given to you. Everything that we discuss, the commands that we will issue, a lot of commands that we're going to issue, everything is going to be documented. And we have a PPT. So everybody would get this repo. Right, let me show you the Google Drive where you're going to find a lot of content. Okay, so it's going to be a lot of content. So full-fledged, whatever we discussed, it's everything is around that. So we have, if you talk about the cloud, we're going to share this PPT. Switches having approximately 150 slides, a lot of content. Okay, a lot of content in the cloud. It's going to take you to understand cloud, right? 150 slides. Then you're going to have the Linux slides. You're going to have the Docker Kubernetes slides. Now, if you go to the SREs, you have the SRE slides, DevOps slides. We have the databases slides, right? You have the monitoring, as I was showing you. We have the monitoring slides, which we'll talk about Prometheus, Grafana, and Elk. You have all the commands that we're going to issue. You have it here. You have Java performance engineering slides. How did you, and a lot of useful documentations which will help you troubleshoot Java applications, right? You're gonna have, so this you're given access to this repo, which it has like enormous. I have put together over the years, right? Eliminating toil using Terraform and Ansible, right? Using some Terraform scripts, Python scripting, right? So we're gonna share all these things. So that's gonna be the content along with the live sessions, the recorded session lifetime access you'll be getting. So that's what I wanted to recap in first 15 minutes. If anybody has any questions about the course before we start deep dive on day one agenda, which is cloud, please feel free to ask any question, friends, if you have about the course, the flow, anything. A lot of silence. I hope I'm audible.
Any hands-on also will you provide or just
Every session is hands-on. I'm gonna show you things. It's not gonna be just theoretical. Then you will not learn it. I just talk, we keep talking. No, we will see things. That's why we have this cloud. For the lab, we have this cloud. We're going to create servers. We're going to create storage services. We're going to create load balancer. We're going to create EKS cluster. We're going to create a VPC. We're going to create databases. We're going to create auto scaling group. Everything we create and we demonstrate things. It's a hands-on session.
Roshan, I have one question.
Mhm.
I'm actually going for certification AWS Associate.
Hmm.
So I have started learning. So
Hmm.
whatever you explained, cloud
Hmm.
for 3 weeks, that will help me, right?
Immensely, because the way we take it up, because I am a professional certified myself, so I know what we offer, right, as part of this content, right? And we talk
Mhm.
in terms of SRE and performance security, considering all those things. It's going to immensely help you. You cannot even imagine the way it's going to help you. I'm not going to tell you that whatever I teach you in 3 weeks you're going to get certified. No, that's not the point. Your basis is going to get strong because they cover. If I have to take up, because I take up AWS certification course with Edureka and Intellipath as well, I need 6 weeks time, right? And that to 6 hours per week, and that's how we complete things. So in what 3 weeks we content, we're gonna give you the basis is strong. Your fundamentals will be strong, and I'll be guiding you what needs to be additionally done for the certification.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Sure.
Roshan, today is there
Mhm.
any hands-on? Like you're going to set up
Today's
some things today?
yes, we will talk about cloud today. We're gonna create server today. We can install something today. Yes, if we get some time, we'll do that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. If you're all sorted on the codes, are we all sorted? We're gonna start directly, friends. And we are not gonna talk about course anymore. We'll start with the cloud. We'll continue. All sorted? Any last questions? I'm gonna wait for a minute.
Roshan, are we going to get access to what you are using to create all this Kubernetes and VPC
Yes.
and all this, or it is
Yes.
so,
You will be
okay?
creating, Swagata, you will be
Oh,
creating, you will have your own account, you will be creating yourself, everything. I'm gonna show you do things and you're gonna create yourself in your account. You will have your own account.
yeah.
That's how we take it up,
Oh,
right? Without
thank
hands-on,
you.
we don't learn, right? Yes. Without hands-on, we don't learn, right? Just by theory, we don't learn,
Correct.
right? So we have to see things, do things, right? Then only we're gonna learn things. Yes, that's how we take up Swagata. You will understand today in just half an hour, 40 minutes, how we're gonna take it up. Okay. All sorted? I'm gonna assume we're all good. Okay, friends, let's start with our first topic. The first agenda that we have is cloud. So, what is cloud, friends? If somebody asks you, let's say, if I'm gonna ask you, what is cloud? What do you respond? Let's say, let's understand from you what is your understanding of cloud, and then we'll take it from there. Let's anybody, any volunteer, like friends, just speak up, right? We'll just know from you what you understand, and then we'll take it from there. What is cloud? Nobody? Feel free, friends. I you're gonna be
Cloud
just
is basically
yeah. Go
uh,
ahead.
so it is like a cluster of remote machines, which doesn't exist virtually. It's and can be used
Which does not
like
exist
basically
virtually.
hosted across. Yeah, means remote servers that are hosted on the internet.
Mhm. Then how different it is from on-prem? Because when we talk about cloud, we compare this with on-prem, right? So how different it's from on-prem then?
I think
It's not owned by the organization or yourself per se. It's owned by some third party.
Right,
And then, yeah, and then we use the services on based on cost or license or whatever the agreement between the
right.
organization and the third party.
Good, Sam. Good. Yes. So Hari Prashant, no, you are not audible. We cannot hear you, Hari. Okay, perfect, San. Absolutely right. See, I'm gonna tell you. See, we have something called data center, friends. Okay, data center. Everybody understands a data center. What do we mean by a data center? Consider a multi-story building in the outskirt of a city. This is the cloud PPT, right? Perfect. So consider a multi-story building in the outskirt of a city like this. Consider this as a data center. This is a data center. You have to procure the land. Somebody who has to procure the land, who wants to own, right? Somebody has to own this up. So the person who wants to set up an on-prem or a data center, let's say, we have to procure the land, purchase the land, construct the building, purchase all the hardware, the devices that you see here, because the complete infrastructure is full of servers. This service is going to generate an enormous amount of heat, so you need to take up the cooling mechanism. These servers cannot run out of electricity. You have to have multiple redundant power sources. These servers cannot run out of electricity. You need to have multiple redundant internet providers, right? For security of this facility, you need people, security personnel, right? The servers may run out of order. You need people for the maintenance of the server, the racks, right? A lot of things. This is called data center, friends. It's not easy, not right pocket friendly to set up this. You need a big place. It involves billions of dollars of investment to set up a data center. Google has it, Amazon has it, all the IBM has it, Oracle has it, right? All the big players, we have it, data centers. Now, if you own it, if I own this, if or a company where I work owns this, we call it on-prem. But if somebody else owns it, like Amazon Web Services, AWS, or Microsoft Azure, right? Or Google Cloud Platform, if they own it and we leverage the servers, we call it cloud. So if we own it, which we are, or the company where we work owns it, so the company has invested so much of amount, right? That's on-prem. The same data set, if somebody doesn't own it, like let's say if we don't own it, we are just leveraging it. What is the leveraging? Like the way we stay in a rented apartment, right? We can stay as long as we pay the rent, right? We don't own the place where we live, but nobody can, like we can live as long as we pay the rent, right? Same thing. As long as we pay the cloud bill, we can use the servers, we can use the storage, we can use other services, what they offer. And they have a lot of services to offer. That's what we're going to learn. What all the services they offer, how do we use them, right? To deploy my application, to secure my application, for my high availability, for my performance, right? Everything we'll talk about that. Various use cases. So it's a business model for them, for the cloud providers, AWS, Azure, GCP. It's a business model for them. They have such data centers across the globe. Across the globe. AWS has more than 100 such data centers. Look at the investment they have made, right? Across the globe. In India, they have 6 such data centers, 3 in Mumbai, 3 in Hyderabad. Same thing, Azure also has it in 2 regions. GCP also has it. Right? They have such data centers. So that's the difference on-prem, whether you own it or you leverage it. So that's the difference between on-prem and the cloud. Are we clear, friends, everybody? So it is the same data center, whether we own it or we don't own it. That defines its cloud or on-prem. Now, when we use on-prem, we have to install, set up, we have to do the maintenance of everything. We have to maintain our own servers. We have to have security personnel deployed for the protection, for the security things. We have to set up everything, right? It's our thing, right? We have to do that. We have to set up, we have to purchase the hardware, you have to set up the cooling mechanism, internet provider, everything you have to take care. But when we use the cloud, they already have everything set up, ready-made. We simply order it. So thing like you're cooking a food here in your home from the raw materials that what you have, that's on-prem. And when you order something online, new things and all the food items we get delivered, that's the cloud, right? Everything's ready-made in the cloud. So think like that. Friends, give me a thumbs up if you're good with this definition. Everybody, cloud and on-prem, the differences. Are we all sorted? Any questions? Feel free to ask. Now, how do we use it, right? How do we use it? So every cloud, it's a business model for them, right? If I show you the infrastructure, friends, in Teams, right, there is something called React, right? I hope you see that React, right? Use the thumb option, friends. It just keeps me on in the same page like you are with me, right? So when I ask something, just give me a thumbs up. It's all sorted. So use the React option so that I get assurance that yes, you have understood and you don't have any questions. Just help me do that, okay? So now, um, now if I show you the global infrastructure, let's say if I just type global AWS global infrastructure, just show you the presence, right? The AWS project across the globe. Look at this. So this is the AWS presence is what we are talking about, friends. All the blue ones are the regions, means they have the data centers. Each blue dot is basically showing multiple data. It's showing the region. In one region, we can have multiple data centers. We call them AZs, availability zones. So let's see if I'm showing you, let's say in Hyderabad or in Mumbai, look at this. If you read this, there are 3 availability zones. So basically, there are 3 such data centers. In Mumbai, also the same thing, right? There are 3 available. Along with that, there are some 2 local zones also. So the blue ones are showing the regions, so their infrastructure, where all they have, and it's growing. Okay, they keep on developing. The red ones are being developed. It's not live, but they are going to be live in Taiwan, in New Zealand, in Auckland, right? In Thailand and in Saudi Arabia, in the Milan, right? So they are coming up as well as in North America, somewhere in Mexico. They're coming up, and they keep on. So their idea here is that anybody can leverage the infrastructure anywhere, right? That's how it is. So they're globally present. So what is the importance of them setting up data centers? Then how are we going to, let's say if a person like me, right, or you, like us, right, they want to use cloud, then how we can use it? So friends, it's not like you have to call them, right? It's not that you have to call their data centers and ask, I mean, we need servers, we need storage, we need databases. No, it's not like that. They recommend, or every cloud, whatever I'm talking about, it's generic to every cloud. Every cloud offers a cloud account. We need to create the account. It's freely done. They don't charge you for creating the account because it's in their favor, right? If folks creates the account and they use it, it's their business model. For them, it's a business model. They want to earn money out of it, right? So we need to create account here and we need to log in. And then we're going to do whatever we need to do to create the infrastructure to deploy my application. If we need server, so we need to go to a particular service here to get the server. If we need the storage, like Netflix is the biggest user of AWS. All the content that you watch in Netflix is stored in AWS, in storage service. So again, you go to a service, everything is through service. So if I'm just going to name you 3 services, very common 3 services. Let's say if you want to get the server, the service name is EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. We go here and get the server. We have a way to create the server. Once we get the server, we need to connect to the server and install things. If you need storage, the entire Netflix that I was talking about, they are stored in S3, simple storage service. The Dropbox, I believe you guys know that Dropbox, right? They use S3. We store information in Dropbox, but they basically use in the backend S3, they use it. In S3, we can create buckets and store whatever we need. Look at this. I have downloaded something here, uploaded. I don't need this now. I forgot this. If you forget this, you'll get charged, right? Like the Netflix uploaded the MP4. I have also uploaded one MP4 for one of the last batches. I just did that just to demonstrate how Netflix works. I just demonstrated them. I don't need this. I forgot to delete it earlier. I did that. Right, so we can use it and it's pay as you go. If you use it, will be charged. If you don't use it, it will not be charged. And if you use more, will be charged more. If you use less, will be charged less. It's simple. It's a business model, right? Pay as you go, we call it. In the cloud, that's why the cost becomes the most important thing. Because if you don't manage the resources that you're using, you're creating and you're not using it, or you're overusing it, it will show up in the bill. It will show up in the bill. Right, just 1 second. It's going to show up in the bill. So we need to be very careful while we use it. And I'm going to demonstrate how do we use it so that we don't pay bill to them, right? So friends, if you are looking forward to create the account, you can go to aws.amazon.com. Everybody knows amazon.com, right? Just use one subdomain, aws.amazon.com. Go to this website, very popular website. Just type aws.amazon.com and create an account. That's it. Same thing you can do in Azure, in GCP, create an account. It's freely done. You're going to be charged for the services you use. I'm going to show you throughout this session. I'm going to show you, I'm going to let you know how do you optimize the cost. And that will make your understanding that even if when you join a company, how can you optimize the cost? So create this account. Just use your email address, use some username, verify your email address. Go ahead, use the free account. Every cloud they offer a free tier. So complete the process, right? Using this. That's how. So Agata, you were asking, right? How do we do that? That's how we do it. You need to create the account, log in, and I'm going to show you how do we do things there. They will be asking your credit card details here. Few debit card also works. They're not going to exploit that or misuse that. I have been using the cloud account for a very long time. So I know they will not auto detect amount. They want to just check whether you are a genuine user or not, but they want to verify you. So please, those who are going to enroll with me in this course, in this journey, do that. Even if you're not thinking to go ahead, you can do it yourself, friends. But this is a mandatory stuff. You have to create the AWS account. And that's how we're going to learn things. How do we set up things, right? So please complete the process. And I'm going to guide you more about this. Every cloud offers a free tier account. Means what do you mean? You can use because they want you to be comfortable. Every cloud wants you to be comfortable because if the customers are comfortable, then only their revenue would grow. So they give some sort of free tier so that you can learn, be comfortable, try out, do POC, and then you go ahead and spend, right? Leverage, use more servers, use more of their services so that they can make revenue, right? So we're gonna exploit this free tier and we're gonna make sure that we don't pay them any amount, right? We're gonna be very careful. There are a lot of services which is part of free tier, and we will be very careful here so that we don't spend any amount. We'll set up billing alerts also. If the free tier is getting exhausted, we'll get alerts. We'll do all sorts of things. So for now, those who are going to join me tomorrow, right? Please create this account. Right? We need this for the hands-on. You can do this later, friends. It's going to take hardly 5 to 10 minutes if you do this on the flow. Do that in your own time. So that's how we create the account. Once you create the account, you'll be logging like this. That's how you'll be. Once you log in to your cloud console. So I was telling you, right, when you need the server storage, you don't need to call the data centers. You need to log into this cloud console and you need to do yourself. So you can use whatever you want, right? You can do all sort of shopping here, I would say, right? You can create servers, you can create storage, you can have databases, you have a lot of cool stuff. You can do everything. You can do VPC, everything you can do. You can create a full-fledged application, and they're gonna charge you. As simple as that. The way you use it, and we have a lot of ways for cost optimization. We'll talk about that, and they're gonna charge you. They have a billing service for that. They like, how do we get the postpaid bill, right? If you are using it, we get the details of every calls that we made, for how long we used. Same thing, they're gonna give you details. So don't think they're gonna trick us. No, they don't do that. They have very good way of metering. How do we use it? If you see, I'm going to show you my cloud bill. You can see this, my bill over the years, right? I've been using a lot of services, right? Look at the bills here. If I show you the bills, the bills, payments, and you'll see so they can also tell you the details, which service you're using, right? Your amount, because I'm not part of free tier. I have been charged a little, right? Because I explore a lot of other services and a lot of other things. I take up batches, multiple batches. So I do need to use, and I'm not part of free tier anymore. So I get charged a little. I get charged for the services that I use. But you will not get charged. Okay? Don't think that you're going to get charged like this. Right? It's not 500 rupees right here. So yeah, that's fine. So as long as you're learning, spending some bucks, learning is absolutely fine, right? So my point is this: you can explore. They have the cost explorer. You can see how the cost, where the amount is being incurred, right? Like the postpaid details. If you would have seen that, we get the details, which services we were using, right? For which, in which month, what service we're using. We can get the reports on the monthly basis. We can see the details. A lot of good stuff. We have been using a lot of services here. Look at the bills that I'm getting it. They have good detail of each and everything, so that you can download a CSV, you can inspect, right? And you can just do some cool stuff of optimization, right? We'll talk about that later, but I'm just giving an overview, friends. Sounds good. Any question so far? Able to understand everything?
Sir, you told EC2, S3, no, sir. So
Mhm.
you told some services. What is that services means?
Now, everything, whatever you need to do, right? If you need the server, you need the storage, you have to go through services. This is the services. EC2, S3 is the name of the service. So everything is through service. So if you need the server, you need to go to EC2 service. EC2 is the name of the service. If you want the server, you need to come here and get the server, right? If you want storage, you need to go to S3 service and get the storage. So services is the name of functionality, you can say functions. See, why we use cloud? First, understand this question, Prithvi. Why do we use cloud? We use cloud because we need the servers, we need storage. Yes or no? Correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right. So we need servers, right? So how do we get the servers? So we get the servers using services, using EC2 service. If you use storage, you want to get storage, you use S3 service, right? If you want to create some network, you use VPC. So we'll learn, right? If you need some security, we use WAF, web application firewall, and sealed. So that's how we use services for everything. We go through services. We have a service for that. For every use case, we have a service. Thing like a
Okay.
function,
Yes, sir.
functionality, right? To use it. Yeah. Okay. Any other
Sorry, I
question?
don't
Go ahead.
know if it's basic or something.
Mhm.
So the app servers or the application, the DB server, whatever we use in the application, we use the same servers here or something
I
different.
don't know what you use, right? You need to be what. So
No,
see.
what practical I'm
Yeah.
asking. Like for example, in my application, if I'm using some app server, in cloud also I'll be using the same one, or is it what you meant by services
See, think
here?
about it. You think about it. You have a server, right? we can get a server. This server could be of 4 vCPU, 8 vCPU, right? Your laptop is also a server. You can get whatever you need, right? You can get a server. Let's say this server, I create a server, and let's say this server happens to be 4 core, 8 GB RAM, let's say. I can install anything here. As simple as that. You're asking for a web server, app server. So I can install anything. If I want, I can install app server. If I want, I can install a database server. If I want, I can install a database or a web server. Anything I can use it. So it depends on what you do with the server. We can install HTTP. So if you're asking, are we going to install things? Yes, we're going to install things. We're going to install, we're going to create the server. We're going to install web server. We are going to show you do things. Right? So, but understand one thing, why we use cloud to get the server. What you want to do with that server depends on it depends, right, on the person, right? I want to use this for only for the web server. Yeah, you can use that. You want to install app server, you can use that. You can install Tomcat server. You can deploy jar file. If you can use MySQL, you can install MySQL. Anything, whatever you can do with the server. So what is your question? Can you be specific?
No, I got it. Just ignore it. I got the answer.
Cool.
Thanks.
Cool. So we get the server, like, so for example, let me show you, friends. If I need a server, what will I do? I'll go to EC2. So EC2 is a service which we use to create the server. Let me show you how do we create the server. There are many things you need to understand before I create a server, but let me demonstrate that in a very simple manner. I'm in the EC2 instance right now, EC2 service right now. Now I need the server. So what will I do? I'll go to instances. It's like configuring your laptop. If somebody asks you configure your laptop, what all details you think they will ask you? Everybody please use the chat option and type in one go. If I will ask you, let's say you go to Dell.com, Lenovo.com, HP.com website, and they ask you configure your laptop. What details you think, the major details, okay, I'm not going to go in detail of 100 list. Major details, what do you think they're going to ask you? You use the chat option, friends. Let's see, and let's understand from everybody. I'm going to show you exactly the way it is being done. So I get OS, RAM, HDD means storage, screen size, yeah, screen size because their laptop, right? OS, RAM, CPU, right? Perfectly done. OS, RAM, CPU, storage. 4 things. Let's keep it simple. 4 things. So the same thing they will ask you. Now I am going to create a server in the cloud. Launch instance. Even cloud is going to ask me the same thing. Look at this. All the options, friends. I am getting a server. Your laptop is also a server. If you run your laptop 24/7, you have a power backup, you have internet connectivity. If you don't lose the power, if you don't lose the internet connectivity for your laptop can also act as a server. You can deploy some application there, full-fledged application. That is how we're getting the server here. So let's give this server name as server 1. Let's give this name. They're asking you, look at it, they're asking you operating system. They're asking you operating system. They're asking you the core and the RAM here. They're asking you some security, like the login credentials. They're asking some more details. They're asking storage also. They ask exact same details what you mentioned. So name of the server I have given. Now this is the way they ask the operating system details. We call it AMI, Amazon Machine Image. That's nothing but the OS. We can select Mac, we can select Ubuntu, we can select Microsoft. We have all the options. Let's select Ubuntu, Linux server. Ubuntu is Linux server, Linux flavor of Ubuntu is one of the Linux flavor, right? We could have also used Red Hat. That's fine. I use select Ubuntu. Whatever I'm going to select, you're going to find it here in the summary list. I can create one server, or I could also create 100 servers. Depends on my whatever I give it here. I can type 100 also. Right now, I'm only integrating only one server. So I selected Ubuntu. Now, you mentioned CPU and the RAM. They call it instance type. You can ask one vCPU, 1 GB RAM, or you can get two vCPUs, 4 GB RAM, or you can get 4 vCPUs, 16 GB RAM. Depends on your requirement. How do you know? You need to select it, you need to test it, you need to performance test this, load test this up, your application, deploy your application, load test. So a lot of ways to come to the conclusion. What is, let's say I use as part of free tier, you will be using, friends, if you don't want to incur cost, use the free tier. In free tier, you don't have option of using more than one vCPU and 1 GB RAM. Okay. If you use free tier, you'll not get incur any cost. So let's select one vCPU, 1 GB RAM. So sorted, three things sorted. OS sorted, CPU sorted, RAM sorted. Three things we already gave. We selected T2.micro. T2.micro is a family which has one vCPU, 1 GB RAM. You can read this right here. Done. Now, you told about the storage. Yes, we have the option of storage. Let's give this 8 GB storage. I need the operating system to be installed, right? In our laptop, where is the operating system stored? Is it RAM? Is it disk? Is it processor? Where? Storage, friends. Disk, hard disk, right? That we have. So we need this 8 GB storage.
Yeah.
Without this, yeah, without this, we cannot host the operating system, right? So I give an 8 GB. Now there are a few other details, okay? So just we need to give some key pairs. See, because we need to log in also, right? We need to log in also. Just by creating the server is not going to help you. So this key pair is help you to log in. So we need to use some key pair. Let's say I create a key pair. Let's say I give this key pair a name, friends. Let's say Isha December 2024. Let's say I give this key pair a name. I'm going to create a key pair. This key pair is going to go to the server, and I'm also will get a PEM file downloaded. So when I'm connecting to the server, this is like a password, like a right an entry, a swipe card. Like when you enter, if you go to office, when you swipe your card, right, for the access. So if you have the right access, then only you can log in. So whatever I'm creating, this will go to the server, and I will also get a downloaded file. So when I try to connect, I should have used the downloaded file, the PEM file, to log in. So I'm going to create a key pair. The moment I create the key pair, you could see that one PEM file has been downloaded, the same PEM file. So while login, I have to use this PEM file to log in. If I use, say, any other PEM file, I'll not be able to log in. So I've given this key pair. Now just know that there are something called network settings. I'll talk about in detail what is that, because see, we are connecting this to the server. Obviously, without network, we cannot connect, right? So there is something called network, we call it VPC, using a default VPC. We can create a key pair also. Key pair is like a firewall. We'll talk in detail sometime. Just keep it default. I'm not going to change this, friends. Let's keep it default. I'm okay. I'm in launch instance. See, my server is getting created. One vCPU, 1 GB RAM, Ubuntu OS, 8 GB storage. My server is getting created. My server has been created. Linux server has been created. Its running status. I can connect to this. There are multiple ways to connect. One of the easiest ways to connect is just select the server, go to connect, and use EC2 instance connect option. It will connect to the browser itself. We can use some third-party client like Putty, MobiXterm. There are so many ways to connect. Don't worry right now. I'm able to connect right now. Look at this. I'm able to connect in the browser. AWS has this feature. I'm connecting to the server, friends. I have connected to the server. This is my server which I have created. I have logged in. Like, how do we log into the Windows laptop, right? When we purchase our laptop, we click on the power button, we get password. Mostly the administrator password works, right? Administrator works, right? Username password. So we have used our key pair to log in here. And since we logged into the console, AWS did not ask us for the key pair and it allowed because we were here, we tried to connect from inside. If I log out, we cannot connect. So I could connect to the server. I can issue some commands, right? I can. So I'm not sure how many of you are comfortable, friends. If I ask you, let's say if I ask you in Windows, if you have a file, right? And if you want to replace some content, let's say in a file you have a lot of content, and if I ask you to replace a word with another word, you can do that, right? In Windows, Control G, Control F, Control G, you know that, right? You can open a file, you can do that. Can you guys do that in Linux? How many of you can do that? Let me ask you. How many of you can do that in Linux?
Using Vim editor, we can do it easily.
Yeah. So just you can do that, San, right? So please type yes or no, friend. I would just like to know from you. Just use the chat option so that I understand. I just want to see how many of you can do that. Let's see how much aware you are in Linux. So I get yes from Saurav and yes from John. 2 yeses I have got, that's all. See, not many can do that. No, you guys are not comfortable. That has been my understanding as well. Not everybody is comfortable. And that's why, friends, we have included this Linux part. Remember the Linux part I was trying to refer you? This I have experienced that not many people are comfortable with Linux. They're comfortable with Windows, but they're not comfortable with Linux. VI editor, yeah, that's right. So only 3 people, right, have in this quorum of 18 people, only 3 people knows how to use VI editor. Even using VI editor, without using VI editor, San, you can do that, replace that. You don't need to use VI editor as such. Anyway, so
Yeah,
friends, we need to be.
yes. When using grep also, we can do it. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, grep is to just filter it. Anyway, yeah, you have answered the question. You can do that. Okay. Let's see. We are logged in as Ubuntu. I can be a root user. Like in Windows, we have the control panel, right? We have the control panel. We can create users. Similar thing we have it in Linux also, right? Very much similar. See, it's a different operating system. Okay, just this. It's not a rocket science. Just an operating system like Windows. Only thing you don't know. That's all. You just need to go over the couple of hours of videos. You'll be comfortable. That's all it is. So I will log in as a root user and I can update. Like how do you do Windows update? I'll do the Linux update also. I can update all the packages so that my packages are up to dated, right? One of my friends were talking about the web server, right? Let me install a web server here. Let's install Apache 2. Apache 2 is a web server which will host the web pages, right? Let's do that, friends. Apt install Apache 2. So this is going to install the Apache 2. How many of you can give me the command to check the running ports, friends? Can anybody can give me the command to check all the running ports? Yeah, John, you're right. SED would work. Can anybody give me the command to check the running ports in Linux? But just now we installed the web server. Netstat would work, John. Yes, John is comfortable with Linux, is what I feel. Yeah,
Yeah,
Netstat
that's
would work. Yeah,
yeah,
Netstat would work. LSOF also works. Okay, LSOF also works. So we can do this. Listen, sorry, my bad. So look at this. So I can see this, the web server had been installed, friends, on port 80. I'm not sure if you're missing the last part. It's, yeah. Look at this. So the web server Apache 2 that we have installed running on port 80. Can you see that? I can just log in. So how do we access the web server? IP:port. So we have the IP of the server and the port 80. But before we do that, we need to open a port in the security group. Okay. There is something called security group, which we act like a firewall. And that's what you need to learn. Okay. So don't feel overwhelmed today. This is the first session I'm showing you something, right? So don't get overwhelmed. I'm going to talk in detail what is security group, why we are adding port 80, how do we add a port here, because we need to add port 80 because we are installing one application. Think like a security group. Think like a security group as a firewall, friends. Think like this. So this is the server we created, 1 GB RAM we created, right? And think like security group is a firewall. Around the EC2 instance, you have a firewall. In the firewall, if you don't allow, let's say this in this server, I have installed Apache 2, a web server, which runs on port 80. Apache 2 I have installed, which is running on port 80, right? Running on. But we are trying to access this from outside world, right? Let's say I'm here somewhere. This server I have created in the cloud, but I am somewhere here outside the network. If I want to access the web server, I need to surpass this. I need to bypass this security group. So this is the security group. So we have to make sure that we allow this. So we went to the security group and we allowed port 80. If we don't allow, we will not be able to access the web server. So we mentioned allow, and then we'll be able to access the web server, friends. Just use the public IP and port and you'll be all sorted. And once we do that, we'll be able to access the web server. Right? Friends, I hope you're able to understand how did we install the app server, web server. Somebody was asking. Friends, are we on the same page? This is the web server output. This is the web page, default page. This is the default page. Prithvi, you have a question? You have raised your hand.
Yes, sir. So you showed since I'm very new to this AWS, sir, I'll be asking some basic questions.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, yeah. You showed to create this key pair, no, sir. So after
Mhm.
creating, you went to that black screen. How did you connect that server one, and how did you went to that black screen?
Yeah. You will get the recording, Prithvi. I understand you are new. Don't
Okay.
worry right now. You will get the
Yeah.
recording. You will understand once you go over it.
Sure,
We
sir.
can
Okay.
save some time here, not to repeat things. So since you're new and it's the first session, let's respect others' time. You can go the recording. If still have question, we can meet tomorrow and discuss this. Okay. So just to let you know, okay, anyway, so friends, I did this, Prithvi. I selected this server and I went to connect and I went to EC2 Interconnect, clicked on connect again, and I got this page. That's all. I know you may have
Okay.
other doubts also. You need to do hands-on. So that's why I'm telling you, right? Hands-on is the most important thing. I will show you. And let's say you don't do it. Will you learn? I'm asking
No,
you a
absolutely
question.
no, sir.
No.
No, no,
So
no.
that's why I tell you the hands-on is very important and you're supposed to practice. Even if I tell you 2 times right now, you will not get confidence. When you do it once, go over by recording, do it once, ask questions, then you will learn. That's how you learn things. So
Definitely,
I've
definitely, sir.
yes. So that's how, so I just installed a web page, friends. You just saw me. This is a default page. This is a default page coming from my server. This is my server, and this is hosting a web page, index.html page. I can create my own page. So this page is coming from this HTML page. And in this location, where www.html, we have this location. So the page is coming from this location, which is a default, so the default page that we get when you install the web server. This is the page. If I want, I can have my own web page also installed. Let's say if I want some sample HTML code, I will use some HTML code, CSS language. Let's say I want to use this. I want to display this page. I want to display this. So I will just copy this code, HTML code, I'll paste it there. All I will do is just, I will create a file. Let's say index1, or let's say I'm going to use SRE.html, something, anything. I will just insert the content and I'm all sorted, done. So I have deployed one more page in the same location called SRE.html. Now, if you go to this page, this URL, use port 80 and use SRE.html. Are you going to guess what is the output are you going to get? Is this correct output? Do you agree that this page is coming because I have installed the web server? Yes or no? I am setting the URL. Please check it from your end. You can have any page, HTML page, it will work like you. It will work. Right? All you need to do is map with your domain name, www.whatever.com, it will work. You hit that domain and it will route to this page and you get the page displayed. That's how it works. So we install the web server. We can install app server also. Tomcat, we can install MySQL also. We have the server, we can do anything. We can create a full-fledged application, 3-tier application. Right? So we use cloud to get the server to install my application. Right? We have this application, right? Flipkart.com or Amazon.com. They have a full-fledged application, or Make My Trip. They have a full-fledged application here. They have deployed this in some server. We hit domain name. First, my request from the browser goes to the domain server. Then domain server resolves. It redirects my request to the load balancer, what they have configured. Then we get this page when we hit the load balancer. Because when you hit the load balancer, it redirects your request to a web server only. And the web server, this is deployed. Like the way just now we deployed a page, this is what deployed in the web server. Then we are getting this output. And then web server talks to application server talk to database server. When we do the order here, the order ID, our reservation gets, you can find the reservation. If I log in, even if I have done the order 1 year back, I can find the PNR because they are stored in the Make My Trip database. In one of the tables, it's stored. So that's how things are. Things work, friends. Making sense? How do we create server? How did we install something? Security group. I talked about a lot of things, maybe overwhelming for you, friends. We will go in detail slowly. Okay, don't worry. I have to talk a lot of things before why we selected. So look at this. You know, where did we create the server? Just to let you know, I happen to create my server in US data center. I selected this US, as you can see, right? US East one, not US East one. So I happen to create this server in US. That's what the cloud offers. I could be in the remotest part of the country. I could be in a village. All I need is the laptop point, internet connectivity, and I can do wonders. I can create server anywhere. I can create a full-fledged application any part of the world using the cloud. That's what cloud empowers us. They have this beautiful management console and using which we can do wonders. I happen to create the server in US, friends. So slowly and steadily we'll learn. Don't feel overwhelmed if you have not understood something. Go over the recording, you'll understand things. Anyway, we will continue our discussion tomorrow. We don't want to incur cost. Always feel free to delete the server in the cloud. Delete. Select this, go to instance state and delete this so that we don't incur cost. Done. Deletion, creation of servers in the cloud is a cakewalk. Hardly takes a minute, right? So done. Now you will not get the output. When I hit the web server, you're not going to get the output. Why? You don't have the server. It's terminated. Sounds
So
good,
why
friends?
why didn't you stop the server? Why
You
you
stop, come
deleted?
on. What? I could not follow you. What is your question? Why I delete it? I don't want to incur cost. Because
If we stop, there was one option
okay,
stop.
when you
If we
stop, you use the volume, right? 8 GB of storage. See, as long as you use the service, when you stop, yes, I do agree that the cost of the EC2 instance decreases, but you still use EBS volume. The 8 GB, remember, 8 GB disk. you don't delete when you stop. But since I terminated, this will get deleted. So it completely wipes off. Look at this. Volume is not there. Earlier it was there. So when you terminate, everything gets terminated. When you stop, the storage is there, which has the minimal cost, but it is there. Cost is there. Because I know for sure that I'm not going to use this server. And if I need, I can create one. This is not something critical server for me. So I deleted it.
Oh, okay. Okay, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Yes, you do have an option of stop, reboot, a lot of things. I selected terminate because I don't need to use it. Unnecessary. I know, even if I know, I can just create it same thing in just 2 minutes. If somebody gives me 3 minutes, this will be running. So why to incur cost unnecessary, right? So friends, any questions so on whatever we have discussed? Is everybody on the same page? I hope. So don't worry, friends. If you're new to Linux, you're covered. I'm gonna don't worry. Okay, I would say don't worry. You will have everything at your disposal. You'll be a much better person from your peers after 3 months. So don't worry. At whatever state you are, you're gonna be a much better person technically in 3 months. Okay, yeah, that I can assure you. But you need to follow. Okay, you need to practice. Without you putting efforts, I cannot do alone. I can help you get things in an easy manner, but you have to practice. So that's all for today from my side, friends. We will continue our journey discussion on cloud. Thank you so much. If you have a question, feel free to ask. If not, we are done. Thank you so much, everybody.